Star Citizen Alpha 4.6 is out and in my opinion has been a little bit rocky. And that's the first patch of the year. I kind of expected CIG to, put on the fresh fit, get their shoes on and step out with their best stride. And they kinda didn't. When I think about the first patch that should go live at the start of the year, especially in an alpha game where they're building it with us, I feel like the first patch should be like, hey guys, this is what we've accumulated and this is what we're gonna set out and build upon for the rest of the year. And this just had so many holes, it's like, it doesn't set a good precedent for the rest of the year. Although I have to say, you can't really, for the time I've been here, you can't really tell when it comes to CIG. They might drop some doodle flakes today, tomorrow they drop a goddamn diamond. You can't really tell with CIG. So even though it isn't the best, I do feel like there's a lot of hope for the year still. The patch did bring a lot of stuff and there's a lot more to be expected in the next month and a half. And I have to say, all the missions that they've added are actually kind of working pretty well. And I love the fact that we have a lot more missions to do in Nyx, making Nyx actually feel a little bit more alive than it did when it first launched. And I also believe things in Nyx, like the QV stations, even the Onyx facilities in Stanton, I do believe they fixed the elevator issues, which was a big issue plaguing Nyx in the QV stations and also plaguing the Onyx facilities. So that being fixed means there's gonna be more people actually going to Nyx and utilizing this new star system, which is really nice, and I'm happy with those kind of fixes. But I will say I'm just a little bit jaded with the new event because at the end of the day, it's just a rehash and reuse of all the old stuff we got from the last event, and I'm like, CIG, stop being lazy. As a gamer, I can say I'm jaded, and that's what it's gonna be. As a gamer, I'm jaded. But knowing the product we have here and watching CIG build this universe, I can say, okay, yes, I'd like to see new missions, but some of these things came out and they weren't the best when they initially launched. A lot of these missions were not working at all the first time we saw them in the verse. So CIG going back and saying, okay, we need to retry and retest these things. As a backseater, I see the point behind it and I see the fact that they have to prove these things. So at the end of the day, sometimes things go beyond me just being a gamer and wanting new content all the time. And it gets to the point where it's like, we need to test things and we need to make sure things are working and things are actually gradually getting better. So adding new content and new mission types all the time might not be the way to go, and sometimes that's okay. So yeah, seeing all these things work a little bit better and work almost flawlessly, I would say almost flawlessly, is nice. And it kind of gives me the idea that we had done a lot of things last year and there's a lot of things we put into the game, a lot of missions and systems we put into the game, and this was just CIG saying, hey, look, we put all these things in last year, this is us proofing it to say, okay, final test, we've tested it and they're working, now we can move on to the next phase. So I feel like this is a test patch where they're testing all the things that they put in last year and they're trying to see how well it works and collect a little bit more data. So for that fact, I can say I can give them a pass on reusing the systems, but the system's not working fully. That's where we're like, okay, we might have to pick this apart a little bit just to give some feedback. There are still prevalent issues that need addressing. One of the major issues that still needs addressing is, I don't know if anyone else has noticed it, but since the last patch, it's been a thing where when you're in your hangar and you have a lot of entities to move, be it boxes, cargo, weapons, and components, for some weird reason, they just disappear. I've been noticing it for a while and I thought it was going to be something they fixed, especially when you have all these missions that are, hey, move 292 boxes of cargo, move 1,000 boxes of cargo, move all of these things, which is a big part of this event that's going on right now. And if you use your tractor beam, I've literally watched it happen in real time, where I'm tractoring things and they literally disappear on my tractor beam. They're on my tractor beam, then they just disappear. And I'm not sure, is it just a max entity in the area or in the shard? And if that is an issue, then you need to raise that bar. We need to have a higher max entity, especially during events like this, so people don't lose things and things just don't disappear. I've lost components, I've lost repeaters, I've lost NDBs and things. I've just lost so many things off that alone, and it's really annoying. And for people like me, if you're doing it solo, if you're doing it with a team, it's like we just loaded 290 something odd pieces of cargo into our ship. We get to the next location just to see that allegedly we've lost 10 boxes, 20 boxes. How is that fair? So all that time I've wasted just goes into the bin. I will say they did bring back the fact that you can actually submit half-baked missions. So if you have a mission, you only have 100 boxes out of 150 boxes, you can submit that and you still get some part of your rewards. But if I spent all that time loading up 290 something odd boxes, but then when I land to deliver them, they start disappearing, it's like I did load them, I wasted time loading these, so they shouldn't be disappearing. So things like that, it just needs to be smoothed out. I don't want to be seeing my boxes disappear, especially when you're making me do things that are literally cargo focused. It's just not a nice feeling. And if you do something like go to the contested zones, get a lot of gear and get a lot of loot, and then that loot starts disappearing, it is annoying, you know? I will say the dogfighting missions seem like the least problematic. When you have the dogfighting missions, you have to go protect or escort. I've seen the least amount of issues there, and I've kind of cleared everything I've done. I've done quite a lot of these missions, and all of them get cleared pretty easily. I will say, on these ships, I do feel like something weird is going on. I do feel like CIG has changed something in the flight model, and they didn't really tell us because flying feels very different for me. I am used to flying certain ships, and when I'm flying those ships and it feels different, they're moving different, their stopping distance is different, I feel like you have to tell us sometimes. Sometimes you have to tell us like, hey guys, the ships are going to be a little bit different, because I have actually crashed way more in this patch than I have in other patches. And I've had so many close encounters where I'm like just skimming away from crashing into a station or something. And I'm like, something is going on. It does feel a little bit more fluid, where it feels like the ships feel a little bit more real. I feel like it's momentum based. I feel like a lot of the changes I'm seeing here are momentum based, where you carry your momentum unless you counter it with your twisters, which makes it feel a little bit more real. So I'm not mad about it, but it's like, why did you guys not say anything about it? Engineering still feels very weird and almost unpredictable. Like sometimes you're going out, you're fighting with ballistics and everything is good. You go out to the same fight with the same loadout, and then suddenly you're getting shot out of the sky in 2 seconds. So it feels very unpredictable. Even if you have full armor, no armor, I don't know what it is. I feel like they still need to do a lot to fix engineering to make it work in the verse the way they wanted it to. I feel like that's the thing we're missing, that engineering just isn't working properly. And there's some ships where it's like, my self-repair doesn't work. So if you're giving me that option, I want that option to work, and it's not working all of the time. So I would like to see them fix that, where it's like, hey, if you have the self-repair option, you can use it. And now let's talk about NPC ships for a second. Oh Lord, CIG, what have you done? I have noticed that when you blow up ships, right, they just go kaboom. And I know you'll be like, Steph, it's the Maelstrom system. Yes, we know it's the Maelstrom system, right? Cool. But I thought it only applied to the smaller ships where they actually just go kaboom into a bazillion pieces. Why am I destroying and killing things like caterpillars and they're not soft deading? They're just getting combusted into little tiny pieces. What is going on? I shouldn't be able to just explode a big ship like that without it going into soft dead. And it's mostly, I'm seeing it here on NPC ships. I haven't really done any PvP battles right now, so I can't really tell you if it blows up with PvP ships. All I know that is when my ship gets attacked, my ship goes into soft dead mode and then it gets destroyed. So why are NPC ships blowing up like that? And I've noticed that they've kind of added back NPC cargo, and it's like you can't even go get the cargo because the ship is blowing up into tiny pieces and then it's flying at Mach 90 through space. When you get out of the ship, the debris is still moving, and by the time you get to the debris, you can't even get the cargo out of it. So you kind of have to let things fly out, and it's better to do your bounties and things in atmosphere, because at least it's going to fall and land on the moon side or something. I know it makes sense for a ship to be destroyed while in motion and the motion continues and the ship keeps going, but it gets annoying when you're chasing down your cargo, you're chasing down the parts of the ship, and if the ship breaks up into 2-3 parts, you're chasing down these other parts. If you're trying to get components, if you're trying to get weapons, the cargo, it makes it really, really hectic, and it just drives people to only want to do bounties in atmosphere. And I'm like, the old system wasn't that bad. I have seen a few people complain that the escort missions are botched due to the NPCs crashing into hangar doors, and I haven't really seen that, but I do know of people saying that because I've seen it in the chat a lot. People like, well, that's my 3rd escort mission and the NPC just crashed into the hangar because the hangar door didn't open, and the NPC ship that I'm escorting isn't smart enough to stop and not crash into it. So I'd like to see this getting smoothed out in the future. Is it a huge deal? Not right now, because there's a lot of other things you can do to get the same points for that part of the event, so it's not a crazy thing. But in the future, if we're going to be having these large scale escort missions and these large scale events, I feel like we have to have things like that fluid and working for people overall. And more on like the refining side of the event, I have noticed something that I didn't notice before, and that's the refining station screens being a little bit weird. I don't know if anyone else has encountered it, where you go to the refining station, you put your order in, everything goes good until the refining order is complete. It says it's complete. You go up to the terminal, and then the terminal is acting like you haven't completed the order, even though the time says 00. When you try to take your order and collect it, it says, hey, this isn't finished and you're going to be stopping this and you're going to lose anything that hasn't been done. As someone who's been around for like a year now, it's like, let me just try it because I've got a bunch of orders in. So if I lose one, I don't mind. So I can do that, take it in and say, okay, this thing is only cosmetic, because at the end of the day, it actually is just cosmetic. It says that on the screen, but it actually doesn't mean anything, because when you take your order in, you get your full order. But if a new player came in and is trying this whole new collect side of the event, and it's like, this is their first time doing this and they put a mission in, they might be confused. They might be scared to take in their work order because they don't know if it's going to get deleted because it just didn't say so. So things like that is like, it's confusing. It's not a big issue if you know it's just cosmetic, but if you don't know it's cosmetic, this could actually just piss people off. So things like that do need to be smoothed out, because at the end of the day, Star Citizen for me is a game where like it's a lot of visual things. You're either reading things or hearing things, and these things are leading with the way you play the game and helping you make decisions. So when you have something that's right in front of you saying, hey, no, not done, don't reclaim, you're going to lose things, it's like a little bit scary. Overall, the event, the missions, they seem stable enough. And I like the fact that right now, CIG knows elevators aren't the most stable things in the verse. So instead of having us going to all these elevators out in the wild, they contained this event mostly to elevators in hangars, which is good because we know the elevators in hangars, for the most part, work pretty well and are stable regardless of the amount of people who are playing. So doing that tells me that they've learned from their mistakes. So the event seems to be running a lot more smoothly, which is really, really good. And that is a high point of it, is the fact that out of everything, it all seems to be working pretty well. I am starting to feel like these limited time events are making people go a little bit crazy due to the rewards. We see mega groups when events like this happen, and don't get it twisted, I don't mind mega groups, and I think mega groups are good because it's good to see all the people coming together and all these things happening all at once. It's like the freaking rat maze and there's 100 people moving 100 boxes. It is really nice, but I feel like the uncertainty of ever getting the rewards due to the limited time, it makes people interact with the game in ways that are not 100% natural. Would people actually interact with Star Citizen like this if it wasn't for the fact that these things seem limited and you might never get them again? Would the interactions be the same? Are we just getting ourselves false data that shouldn't be happening or wouldn't be happening if there wasn't that FOMO? And is this me saying a limited events and rewards shouldn't be a thing? No, I think they should be a thing, but some of them should also be attainable in other ways. Like after an event is over, I feel like CIG should make it, be it some rep system, a new rep system, or a mission giver in the verse that says, hey, this event is over, but if you work up your rep for bounty hunting to this or medical to this, you can then go in and start earning rep points that you can then trade in to get these things. Kind of the way Wicklow works, but for more things like this new armor we're getting, different color tractor beams and medical guns, things like that, where it's like, hey, this is a human mission giver. Like we have Wicklow now, so I don't think there's anything wrong with putting any more mission givers in the game, because it will make sense and it helps people who are, just think about it, right? Imagine you've been playing this game since launch and you've been a backer since launch, and for 1 week or 1 month, there's a new patch that comes up, there's a new rewards, there's new events, but your PC can't handle the game or the game isn't working. Something is botched on your end, because at the end of the day, we're all playing a different version of Star Citizen. So imagine you can't come on for that month or 2 months, or things in real life are getting to you and there's things you have to do that, and you can't log in. Then you log in, you're like, oh, this cool armor, where did you get it? And like, oh, you missed the event, you can't get it again. It's like, damn, so I can never get this again. And it's like, well, now I'm someone who's here investing and trying to make sure Star Citizen gets to 1.0. But I'm like people at 1.0, because all the things you got bound to your account before then, I didn't get them because I couldn't play for a week, for 2 weeks, for a month. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit lukewarm on it, because I don't know if I don't know if it will work, but I feel like it would be fair, because even though I play almost every day, I feel like it's unfair making people have to race to try to get these things done, and making people being forced to like join mega groups and things just to get it done instantly. Like no one is really playing, they're doing it instantly. Everyone is getting these missions, joining a mega group and getting the whole event done in less than 20 minutes. Is that fun? Is that the way CIG intended it to be done? I don't know, and I don't feel like it is. And I feel like it's not authentic and it's not Star Citizen, you know? The patch did also roll out with some old issues. The ones that bug me the most are the ones that they literally explicitly said you're fixing. Desync is still an issue, and desync seems to be worse than it used to be. Like, desync is really bad, especially with the dogfighting. I haven't done much FPS this patch as of yet because of the fact that there's not a lot of FPS missions for the event, and I'm trying to get the event done. Dogfighting, the desync is disgusting. Like, what in tarnation, Gango? I'm shooting you now, next second you're on my ass. Why are you on my ass, Gango? I don't get it. Like, if you say you're gonna fix desync, how come it's even worse now? What happened? Why did you tell us that it was fixed? Why did you tell us it was a lot less reduced now? It's not. It's still a big issue. And with the dogfights being hard because of the desync, and then we have issues with our pip where your pips and your targeting is botched. I'm shooting, and because I have 2 different type of guns, I have 2 pips. Then one of them just stops working, and now I don't know if my ballistics are hitting or if my lasers are hitting, because each one of them just takes turns to stop working. I feel like things like that do get you botched, and it gets you into situations where you're kind of at a really big disadvantage. And I've seen myself doing more jousting and having to be really close to my enemies to shoot them, when normally I would try to outmaneuver them and things, and it's just like it doesn't help. So I feel like we need to get those looked at, because those are a big part of the dogfighting and ship combat gameplay. And along with that, as you're using your ship and you're flying around, the star map is still broken. The star map still has issues where you can't quantum to things and you have to reroute yourself. Then your star map starts working, you can actually target things, and all those kind of things have been here for quite a while now. I would like to see them get resolved. We've had them for a really, really long time, and I'm pretty sure we've had them before I even started playing. Why are they still an issue? Things like that shouldn't be that hard to fix. It's a star map. It's something that every player has to use, and it's going to be very difficult for new players to use that. We have a free fly coming up, and when a free fly is coming up and new players get in, they don't want to feel like they're doing something wrong. If they're doing everything right, don't make it feel like you're doing something wrong. And the star map is going to be a big part of that, because you're not going to know how to get to places. You're going to be relying heavily on the star map. So we need to get things like that working. And now this is one that I don't like, because this one has actually got to the point where previously, I think on 4.5 early on, people got crazy about this, and we saw hella servers being flooded by players doing this. I got into my elevator, someone ran in with me. Luckily for me, this wasn't my first rodeo, so I got the blick out. He had a fire extinguisher, I had the blick, so he got killed. You feel me? I didn't get a crime stat now, so I'm not a criminal. I was just defending myself. But things like that shouldn't be working, because if people get to the point where you're mad again and you're going in as big, huge groups, killing people in their hangars, destroying their ships, or doing all of these things, it's going to be really shitty when we have a free fly event and that breaks loose. Imagine you're a new time player. You're at somewhere that's supposed to be safe. You get into your hangar. Some random other people get into the elevator with you. You go to your hangar and now you're getting killed. CIG, we gotta fix that. These things are supposed to be instance. These are supposed to be some of our first iteration of instance things, like your hangar. So tell me why people are able to go to my hangar when you're not in the same party as me. That needs to be resolved. ASOPs are also broken as well. Like ASOP screens are just doing some weird things where like sometimes they completely glitch out and you can't actually interact with them. Like you're looking at them, you're on the screen, but you can't do anything. You have to literally go out and re-interact with them just to be able to use this screen. This happens with ASOP terminals. This happens with shop terminals, kiosks, anything that has a screen. You literally go into them and then for some reason, it just stops working. It is something that I would say is minor, but it is annoying having to go back in and out. But the biggest one with the ASOPs that is pissing me off, I don't know if you've experienced this, but it's pissing me off. When you try to claim a ship, let's say you have multiple ships, you go to your ASOP and you try to claim your ship. You click on the ship you want and it claims the wrong thing. Now, you might be like, Steph, why is that bad? If I have a ship, let's say I have my C1 Spirit, I've got a tumbril in there, I've got a few boxes in there because I'm like, later on today, I'm going to go bunker running. And I have that set up for myself in another station, be it by Genie Point, be it Area 18, Seraphim, wherever it is. And then I say, but before I do that, I want to go bounty hunting. Let me take my Avenger Titan out, or let me take my Hornet out. I go out bounty hunting, or I just say, oh, my Avenger Titan isn't here at the station I'm at. Let me reclaim it. I try to reclaim it, and then it reclaims my C1 Spirit that is set up for my later day adventure, and all that prep time goes into the bin. Now, scale that up. Scale that to a Idris. Scale that to a Perseus. Scale that to a Polaris. Scale that to bigger orgs who are setting up for some big things. And now it's like they just wasted maybe 20 to 30 minutes of prep time because the ASOP terminal keeps claiming the wrong things. To me, that is new. I haven't seen that before. So why can't we fix something like that? Something like that shouldn't be terribly hard to fix. And then we still have things like the NPC looting is still cooked. And this one is really close to my heart because I'm a loot goblin. You know, I like going out into the verse and finding the best drip so I can make my collection of outfits. So I can walk around the verse looking fly. But we can't even do that anymore. And if you want to do it, you have to go through excruciating pain, bro. Just doing it is like painful. If you're trying to loot an NPC's corpse, you can't drop the armor off their bodies. It keeps just getting boomeranged back onto them. And even if you take it off and put it into your bag, it still goes from in your bag back to your body. You can't drop it on the floor. And then if you interact with any piece of armor from them now, suddenly their body starts to mesh into the ground and now you have an NPC that their body is slowly slipping away from you, and by the time you've taken off all their armor, they're disappeared, they're in the ground, they're gone. So it's made looting, especially armor looting, very, very nonsensical. It's made it not worth any time. It's not worth your time. It's not worth you. You don't even do it because it's stupid now. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people would agree that a big part of the FPS gameplay is the looting afterwards, because that's how we make that extra little bit of money. We go to a protect side, a bunker mission, and we bring our boxes with us and we make an extra bit of money. So that not being viable anymore, it's sad, because it's a big part of gameplay and there's not much you can do in FPS except for loot after you've done your battles. So I feel like it's killing a whole side of the gameplay, especially for solo players like me. It is killing a lot. So I would like to see them revisit that. These things were working before. We can get them working again. It's not going to be like rocket science. We can definitely get them working again. So I would like to see CIG look at these things. But in terms of performance, everything seems to be better. Stanton, I seem to be getting way more frames in Stanton. The only nitpick I have here is Levski seems laggier than before. For some reason, Levski seems way laggier. Most of the space around Nyx is kind of okay, but Levski seems way laggier. In Standard, I'm getting way more frames and things are just looking a lot better. And I don't know if anyone just noticed it, Star Citizen looks a lot better. For some reason, the game suddenly looks way better. Like, I don't know, they did a graphic upscale or something. The game looks freaking nice. Star Citizen looks nice, it's top of the line, but this just looks way nicer. And I'm like, what did CIG do? But I am here for it. The game looks so much better. I don't know if you've noticed it, but I really have noticed it. It's something I'm like, whoa, okay, 4.6 came with the banging freaking textures. And we also got the lamp feature, which is really, really nice for all those night flyers in the verse. And the damn Aurora, man, the Aurora is freaking beautiful. I really, really like what they did with the Aurora. It feels a lot better, and I just think it's the best starter ship. If you want something that's easy to fly, easy to get used to, you can log out in it, you have space inside it, you have space behind it, you've got gun racks, you got everything you need. The Aurora is the ship to go with, and I'm loving it. I'm really loving it. What they did with it is really, really beautiful. But saying the Aurora is beautiful, which it is now. CIG, listen to me here. Chris Roberts, I'm looking at you right now. The Avenger Titan, internal storage, gun racks, place. The Avenger is lacking. Why does the Aurora have all these things and the Avenger doesn't? Please, Chris Roberts, please. Can we get the gold pass for the Avenger Titan, please? Come on. This event has the thing where you have to go collect these resources for the event, and I'm gonna say mining has been a blast this patch. I've noticed a lot more ores planet side. Like, normally it's really hard to find them, but like there's so much more ores planet side. And for some reason, guys, if you are someone who mines Quantanium, go out right now. I have seen at least 100 SC of Quantanium every single time I've gone out to mine, which is crazy. So I think the coefficient or like the rarity of it has been like lowered, or like the coefficient has been raised, and now Quantanium is not rare anymore. I promise you, this patch, it's not rare. So if you're working on like, again, a Polaris or whatever from Wicklow, this is the right time to go get Quantanium, because it's freaking easy as heck. Take out your crew and go out, and it's really good because mining is working very, very well. I like the fact that it's working well. I like the fact that the ores are not as scarce anymore, so you're not spending a whole 2-3 hours with no nodes. There is a lot of nodes and a lot of everything you need. So it's really, really nice to see them giving this little boost to mining. So I'm really happy with that. And now I'm like, there should be hot fixes coming out. I've been expecting a lot of hot fixes coming out, but I haven't seen any hot fixes. But apparently CIG is doing hot fixes, and because of the new patch cycle, the new hotfix method doesn't need updates, which is a really, really good thing. Because imagine you get to put in the hotfixes and I don't have to lose an hour or two updating the game. If this is how the new patch system is going to work, it's going to make a lot of people happier, because there's no more downtime when a hotfix comes in. So if a hotfix comes in while you're at work, at school, or wherever you are, you get to come home to a game that's already preloaded. You don't have to update your game again, which is really, really cool. And I'm really interested with the new patch cycle, because the new patch cycle is going to give room for more fluid adjustments to the verse, and that's going to be really, really huge. Overall, the patch is still extremely playable, and the issues haven't been game breaking. Like, all these issues I'm talking about, they're on more like the surface side of issues. They're not game breaking. None of these issues have stopped me from playing Star Citizen. One thing that I've noticed is this whole patch, I've played like 30 something hours. I haven't crashed a singular time. I'm getting better performance. I haven't crashed, and the only issues are what I've listed above, which are kind of almost nitpicks with the actual state of Star. If we look at the state of Star Citizen, those problems are nitpicks. They're not actually like crazy game-breaking problems. And like the elevators, like no elevators working. So it's not that bad. And that's the thing. It's like I don't want to say, oh, this patch is terrible. No, it just had a lot of holes. It had a lot of holes, and I expected more as the first patch of the year. Is it the worst patch I've seen? No, nowhere near. It's just like more like a 7 out of 10 for me. It just didn't hit the mark that I was expecting as the first patch for the year. So now if you're watching this saying, hey, should I come back to Star Citizen? I've been taking a break, didn't know if it was going to get better, and I'm watching this video saying, should I come back? Yeah, I think you should come back. I think you're going to have a lot better performance. The performance is a lot better now for this patch. I haven't, even with all the broken issues and all the borkiness, my performance has gone way up, and I haven't done anything to improve my computer or anything. And there's a lot more options for you in the settings to actually try and get that performance a little bit higher. Like now we can put clouds back down, and there's all this water tessellation and all these other different settings that you can put down to get more frames, which isn't bad. I've seen people who said they were getting 2 FPS. They've come back to on the 15 FPS and built up areas and 30 FPS on non-built up areas. So people are getting way better consistent frames, which is good. So if you're thinking, should I come back? Or if you're thinking, should I get into Star Citizen and you're worried your computer's not good enough, the performance is way better. And I would really, really recommend getting to Star Citizen right now. And if you are new and you don't know if you want to spend your money to invest into getting to Star Citizen, there's a free flight coming up in a couple of weeks, and you can actually test the game for free. And if you want to test the game for free, make sure to wait until that. But if not, if it's like, hey, you need to get into Star Citizen right now, make sure to use this code to get 5k free credits bound to your account. And yeah, hopefully you have a good time. And don't forget, if you don't have a good time, refund it. As soon as you buy it and you feel like you're not having a good time, refund it. Tell Chris Roberts, give me my money back. So you're never locked in. Don't forget, you have 30 days to refund the game if you don't like it. But if you're looking at starting it, or if you're looking at getting back into Star Citizen, this is a really good time. I feel like they're doing well. And there's an event on right now. You can get some cool things bound to your account, which is pretty. Who doesn't like some free things bound to their account? So hop into the verse. Go try it out. If you've been taking a break, come back in, try it out, man. Update your computer, do whatever you need to do. And yeah, that is my brutal review without holding back. You guys already know how it is here. I don't pull back punches. I'm gonna talk my shit, and that's basically it. And I feel like we could have been better. I feel like that we could have definitely done better, especially as the first patch of the year. And we didn't, but overall it's still playable. There's nothing game breaking that came with this patch, which is a good thing, because normally we have some things that's actually literally stop people from playing the game. So it's really good, and it's really nice, and it doesn't set the best vision for the rest of the year, but it sets a good one, you know? Not one that's like, oh, the bar's been raised again. It's just like, it's okay. It's going to be at least stable. If you like this little conversation we just had and this little talk of opinions, make sure to let me know in the comments below. Don't forget, like, subscribe, help the channel out, become a member if you want, and I'll see you guys on the next one.